In this video, we're going to find out how far the new facelifted Tesla Model 3 long-range dual-motor Highland can go on a full charge of battery at a constant 120 kilometers an hour or 75 miles an hour. So without further ado, let's just jump into the test and find out how far the new Model 3 can go. Safety starts with the tire. Tires are the only thing keeping your car on the road and is therefore the most important component of your car. After studdless winter tires have become more and more popular in recent years, many drivers are slow to change back to summer tires for the warmer months. Though studdless winter tires are great when it's cold, they can be very dangerous as temperatures rises. The tire pattern wears quickly and braking distances increases immensely for winter tires and temperatures above 7 degrees Celsius. On wet surfaces, when the temperature rises above 20 degrees Celsius, studdless winter tires are dangerous and offer very low levels of grip and very long braking distances. This has to do with the softer compound of the tire as it's made to perform in cold conditions. Thus, winter tires get too soft during the summer. This is why safety starts with the tire, and Continental recommends you to always change to the correct tire for the season. Stay safe for the summer season and find the correct Continental tire for your car in the link down below. Welcome to the new and updated Tesla Model 3 long-range dual motor, or the Tesla Model 3 Highland is also what a lot of people call it, which was like an internal code name for this heavily revised version of the Tesla Model 3 that originally came out like 7 years ago, back in 2017. Yeah, it's been on the market for a while, and it's gotten, a new front, a new rear, and it's gotten a new interior, and it's also got a lot of improvements that I'm going to cover in my review at the end of this week or later next week. In this video, it's all about what range we can get out of this car at a constant 120 kilometers an hour or 75 miles an hour. And after about half an hour on the road, our average consumption is 17.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is pretty low. But also the conditions today are basically perfect. So dry roads, no winds, basically a meter per second from the west, so a crosswind, and also a little bit of overcast and around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, meaning that we don't have to run the AC any hard because the sun isn't shining. We have no winds to battle, and also dry conditions. And it's also going to help that this car is on the standard 18-inch wheels. So today is going to be the best conditions for getting the most range out of this car at this speed, and that is reflected with the consumption. So I've driven quite a few Teslas over the past few years, quite a few Model 3s, and this I could say, without jumping too much into the details, it is very, very much improved when it comes to comfort and quietness and just the overall driving experience. The old car was a little bit stubby, in its suspension, where there was very little suspension travel. It would never really calm down, and it was also very noisy. It also had super quick steering that just made the car feel nervous at anything, above 100 kilometers an hour. The steering is a little bit more relaxed, the suspension is a little bit more relaxed, and also they've improved the sound deadening. Though you're gonna notice that most at lower speeds, because here on that motorway at 120 kilometers an hour, I wouldn't describe it as quiet. It is quieter, and maybe even noticeably quieter than the pre-facelifted version, but I'm finding myself having to raise my voice, and there's quite a bit of road noise and also wind noise. So it's no luxury car, but it is a welcome and very nice improvement. It's a nice car, and also the seats also seem to be improved, though I wish you could adjust the cushion, but we're going to jump into all of that in my review because there are a lot of things I like about this car, like the improved comfort and the improved quietness. So guys, we're going to continue on now for about a half an hour until our turnaround point, and then I'm going to update you guys with the consumption, if it has gone down or if it has gone up. I just experienced a brief moment of phantom braking, and for you guys who aren't familiar, phantom braking is a problem with Teslas where you're driving on adaptive cruise control or autopilot, and you set your speed like here to 120 kilometers an hour, and then the car suddenly detects that the speed difference is different. Look at this now. A little bit of braking. That's very, very strange. It may be because of that truck there, but I haven't experienced that earlier with this car today. And on this stretch of road, there has always been instances of phantom braking. Like there, that was just very, very little, like going down from 120 to 117 kilometers an hour. But I'm going to keep an eye out on that, because on this stretch of road with all the other Teslas I've driven, there has been, aggressive and severe phantom braking where the car breaks down to a much lower speed. So what happened briefly was that the car just suddenly set the adaptive cruise control to 50 kilometers an hour. So it just slammed on the brakes. And that is just dangerous. It's not very confidence inspiring, and yeah, it's not something I like. So let's keep an eye on that. Hopefully they fix phantom braking with this latest version of the Model 3, but let's see. Okay, there we go, guys. Phantom braking. Look at this. First I thought it was the truck in front there, like 200 meters up the road. What is going on? Why are we going 80 kilometers an hour? That is so weird. It sees the truck up there, and now it doesn't see the truck. That's so weird. The truck is so far away. What is going on? So there's still phantom braking issues on this stretch of the E6 motorway here in eastern Norway. Why haven't they been able to fix this after so many years? That is so weird. That is weird. Was that phantom braking, or was it because it detected the truck up there and then it just panicked? I don't know. Let me know, guys, what you think it was. Have you had any similar experiences with the new Model 3 or the old Model 3? I mean, it can't be that it detected that truck up there, because now we're approaching this bigger truck here and the car isn't braking until we are, really close. And then we're going to change lanes there. Okay. So it couldn't be that it, detected that car and it slammed on the brakes. It has to be something else with this stretch of road. Yeah, I think that's pretty conclusive. Now, look at that. It's braking. What is going on? It's just confused by the green truck? Is it because of the color of that truck? That is so weird. That is so, And now, you saw that, guys. We were much closer to that bigger red truck. Now it's braking. It's braking. Why is it braking? That is so weird. And then now we have that camper, that RV in front of us, and it's not reacting. Look, it's pulling closer. It's pulling closer to that. Look at that. It's so weird. I have no explanation for that. So now we're passing this green truck and the car's fine. It's not reacting to anything at all. It's completely fine. And what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? My God. What's going on? There are a lot of tourists on the road, and there's this convoy of these old Polish cars from Poland, or old Eastern European cars, like these old Skodas and I think FSO and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. And also that camper was from Czechia. I've seen Danes, I've seen Germans. There are a lot of tourists on the roads in Norway now, just so you guys are aware. So we're gonna get into the right lane, and seems to be fine. That is so weird. And then now we have this Mach-E in front of us. We're gonna get closer and closer and closer. Nothing's happening. Like, the car isn't slowing down, it's not braking. Like, we're still keeping 120 kilometers an hour. And we're gonna do that until we get closer and closer and closer. I mounted up the camera for the next, sequence of shots there, when we're gonna get to our turnaround point in just a few minutes, while I'm passing that Mustang Mach-E, and 2 times while passing that Mach-E, it slams on the brakes, which is so weird. It detects the car being in that lane. The speed limit is still 110 indicated. The Maximum speed on the adaptive cruise is set to 120, but when we're passing that car, that Mach-E, it just slammed on the brakes. I had to override it with a throttle. That is so weird. So guys, still issues with phantom braking with the Model 3, but it doesn't seem as severe as it has been. So let me know where you live, where stretch of road do you drive usually, where you experience phantom braking with Teslas. It's so strange, it's still a problem. This is where the 4-lane motorway on this stretch of road ends. They are building, you know, about 30-40 kilometers north from here, more motorway, but that's going to be finished in a few years. But I think when it's done, we're going to extend this test, because I think testing these cars over a longer distance is going to, you know, give you guys an even more accurate read of the range. So we're here at our halfway point, and we're going to go into trips here in the trip computer. And we're now at a very low 15.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is very low. Also, this car has, you know, these darn buttons for indicators instead of a stock. It's not as bad as I remember being in the Model S. And after a little bit of brain calibration, even in roundabouts, it's usable. But I've only had this car for like a day, so maybe after a week I'll get more used to it. But I'm not a fan, but it's not as bad as I remember it being, which is strange. So now we're back on the E6. We're gonna head south. I'll see you guys in an hour, but for you, it's only gonna be fade to black and fade from black. Okay, we are now back to Ionity in Dal, or Circle K here in Dal, where we're gonna connect to a charger, and then we're gonna see what charging speed we get after 2 hours on the road, driving at 120 kilometers an hour now in Norwegian summer, or maybe more spring temperatures if you're from a warmer place. So the reason we're not going to the superchargers a little bit up the road, the Tesla superchargers, is because this is the new route, and we stop here with every car. That is the point of this test, is to start here with every car and stop here with every car, so we're covering the same distance, the same conditions. Yes, I could connect to a supercharger and then just have free charging, and also probably get higher charging speeds, because Teslas with their 400 volt architecture won't be able to get their peak charging speed at other than Tesla superchargers because of the CCS2 standard, which is limited to 500 amps over a short burst or 400 amps over a long period of time. To get this 250 kilowatts of peak charging speed in this car, the charger has to output like 625 or 650 amps, which only superchargers will do because they're not bound to the CCS2 standard when they're connected to a Tesla. Yeah, maybe a little bit complicated, but that's the way it is. So let's stop here, and then let's take a look at the results. So we're gonna put the car into park. We're now at 53% state of charge. You have to tap this, and then let's go into the trip here, and I'm gonna show you guys that we are at a very impressive low. Check that out, 15.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So we're now at 53% state of charge, and we're gonna connect and see what charging speed we get at this Ionity 350 kilowatt charger. So with this new model, the charge port is in the exact same place. I think actually the charge port cover is the exact same. So we're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna use my phone. I don't think this has charge and plug with, no, it doesn't. But you can, I don't know. No, I don't know if you can do charge and plug with, plug and charge, I mean, with a Tesla. So I'm gonna jump into the Ionity app here. And of course, since this is a press car, I could again charge at a Tesla supercharger, and it would be free of charge. But yeah, I'm more interested in, you know, checking out the charging speed with this car at this 350 kilowatt non-Tesla charger, because if you don't have, you know, free charging with these, it's actually more expensive to charge at a Tesla supercharger than it is at this Ionity charger if you have the subscription service for Ionity. So the Ionity Passport is 136 kroners a month, and then you're paying 3 kroner per kilowatt hour. If you have a Tesla, you don't have to buy the subscription service. If you don't have a Tesla, you have to pay for the subscription service, which may be about the same, like 150 kroners. And then you get the kilowatt hour rate of 3.45 kroners, which is the same if you have a Tesla. I hope you guys got that. I didn't mean for that to be too confusing, but yeah, there are different rates for different chargers. So let's see, we are now at 53% stated charge, and I'm not sure what charging speed we should get with this car. I mean, we've been driving, we have not preconditioned the battery. We don't do that in this test because we want to test the car without preconditioning to see what speed we get now. And it is interesting that we're not getting more than 80 kilowatts at 53%. That is, to be honest, guys, a bit disappointing. That is disappointing. Now let's take a look at the results, and the way we usually do the calculations to get the theoretical range in these tests is the same for every electric car. We take the reported consumption, we divide it by the usable battery capacity, and then we subtract 3% in heat loss. That's heat loss and also charging losses. And usually we can do those calculations and they are pretty much comparable across the board. Of course, they're never going to be 100% accurate or 100% comparable, but it's going to be close enough that it is fair for every car. It is a close approximation, and I use these, calculation methods every time I drive these cars down below 0% stated charge. So I'm really confident in that they actually work in the real world. They're not just theoretical. I've done close to 80 of these, range tests and close to 70 long trip tests in the 4 years I've been testing electric cars here on the channel, and it's pretty reliable. But for a Tesla, we have to do it a little bit differently because where every other car than a Tesla actually under-reports distance. So for example, the route here is 194 kilometers according to Google Maps. I've only done this new route a couple of times, and the cars I've tested under-report the distance by about 0.5 to 1%. So they're going to report like 193, 194 kilometers, etc., etc. This car though reported 196 kilometers, so it's actually over-reporting. And also, if you take a look at the actual percentage used, and we do the battery percentage that way, again, it's not going to be accurate. We've actually used more battery capacity than the car reported. We've used 31.1 kilowatt hours instead of 31. So we have to do some corrections for the reported, the claimed numbers there, for it to be comparable with other cars. I just think that's fair. Where other cars do it differently, Tesla do it in their own way. And when we do the calculations, the actual measured, again, it's going to be an approximation, not 100% accurate. Consumption in today's test is 16.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers and not 15.7. So if we take that 16.3, we divide it by the usable battery capacity of 75 kilowatt hours, and we subtract 3% in heat loss, that still gives us an amazing range of 446 kilometers, which is like the second best result I've ever gotten in any car in this test. And the best result I got with the Polestar 3 long range dual motor was done in Spain, and some of that was done downhill, and also the average speed was lower. So I think, like, if we're going to be completely fair, this car is actually the best performing in the range test I've had of any electric car. So if we're going to be, we're going to correct for the results there, it's only fair to discount that test of the Polestar 3. It's still going to be up there on the board until, I get one here in Norway to do proper testing. But if we look at it realistically and comparatively to other cars, if you want to get like the best range and you want to be certain that this car is going to get better than that, we have to be fair. And in that regard, the Tesla Model 3 long range dual motor on 18-inch wheels, the new Highland model, under today's conditions is the best performing in my range test here on the channel. And I think that is pretty pretty darn awesome. What's not awesome is the phantom braking and all the beeping and bongs Tesla still do. Still drives me completely crazy, but if you want a more comfortable, a more quiet Tesla Model 3 with great range, and you don't mind the annoyances, this is a great result. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.